I picked up some new generator for going off grid in my caravan, and picked up from a boot fair for £25, and surprise surprise it doesn't work. So I'm going to strip it down and give it a good service, and hopefully I will learn a few things, and so will you, as I'm going to video the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the fuel tank off. Now it's actually got a full tank of fuel in here. I don't know what the fuel is, I don't know what the mixture is. It's supposed to be 50:1, but seeing as I don't know what it is, the first thing I'm going to do is take that away and dispose of it safely. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is take it off. It's actually got 10mm bolts here, 2 on this side, and on this side. Actually got a fuel tap here. Make sure that's in the off position, otherwise when you go to take the fuel tank off, you disconnect this fuel pipe here. Obviously it's all going to drain off, so you don't want to do that just yet, but the fuel tank will just come off here. There's a clip that goes into the carburetor, I don't know if you can see that down in there, and another clip at the top. I plan to take the clip off down the bottom, down at the carburetor. But before I do that, I'm going to replace these bolts back where they came from. Otherwise, I'm going to end up losing them. So there's the top tip. Put nuts and bolts back where you found them. Right, I can't get in there with my fingers, so I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers. Here we go, got a pair of pliers. Take that clip off. It's on there pretty. I'm actually checking to make sure that this is working correctly as well, which is the fuel tap. So there he goes. So the fuel's running out of there quite clear. I release the cap. Hopefully I'll be able to obviously make sure you do this in a well ventilated area. Right, now the fuel's all drained, the next thing I'm going to do is change the spark plug. Before I do that, I'm just going to have a quick look inside and make sure there's anything visible that, you know what I mean, that I can see. And there we go, I think I found a problem. Right, if you look inside here, we've got this little wire here, should be attached there. That is probably the reason why the engine wouldn't start. But I'm still going to carry on with the service. These are really good clean out, and there's a lot of cobwebs and spiders webs and what sorts here. So I'm going to carry on with the service anyway, because quite frankly it needs it. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is change the spark plugs. So it's got a cheap Chinese spark plug here. So I'll get a proper spark plug spanner. Oh, there we go. Nice and easy. These things are renowned for having spark plugs that are really cheap and nasty. A Bonon 5F5TC. So yeah, it's not exactly the best bit. So I am replacing that with an NGK, and it is a BP5ES. Plug that in, tighten it up, not too tight, don't want to strip any threads. Next part done. Right, all these cobwebs in here. Next thing I'm going to do is clean out the air filter. So I have to undo these screws at the front here. Maybe these are the type that don't want to come out. The air filters on these. Oh, there we go. Put the screws back in, don't want to lose them. It's a sponge type filter, so give that clean in warm soapy water. That's the actual carburettor there. Hopefully by changing that wire I don't have to take that off, but if what I'm doing doesn't fix it, then that'll be next. I'll take the carburettor apart and give it a good clean up. So I'm just going to go and clean that sponge off. Alright, that's the sponge all cleaned off. It's actually shaped to go in them gaps there, to leave it. Put the screws back out. So the spark plug's done. Next thing what I'm going to do is the old fuel line that's on the fuel. The next thing I want to do is the fuel line is, it seems a bit odd that there's no filter apart from that little filter that's on the fuel tank. So I'm going to put an inline filter in place. So we know that that's the rough size of it. So I'm going to clip it there, put that in place. There, actually, upside down. It's going to be that way around. So the fuel comes in. There's actually an arrow. I don't know if you can see that. There's actually an arrow there with the direction of the fuel. So that goes into there. That goes into there. Just need to get it cut to size. Right, I've cut the fuel pipe to roughly the right size. I wonder how easy it's going to be to get this in. Push it over. Gone over quite easily, not that easy actually. Okay, let's get my pliers. Ooh. That's in place, it's not going anywhere. Next is the fuel. Get the right one. Get over there first. Put that over the fuel. Proper price for this one. It's easy to get in now. Okay. Right, now to replace the fuel tank back in place. I'll just wait that fuel tank. That fuel line's a bit long. I think I may have to cut that a bit short actually. I don't think anything else is going to get particularly hot. Let's try it as it is to start with. If I need to shorten it down, I will. I know where the nuts are for this, because I'll put them back in the holes where they come from. Right, so change the spark plug. I've emptied the fuel out. I'll put the connector back on inside and I've put a fuel filter in. So I'm going to fill it up with fuel now and give it a start. Now I'm going to put in 1 litre of pre-mixed 50:1 fuel and oil mixture. I've also, because it's only 1 litre, I put in 2.5 millilitres of Redix just to give it a good clean out. Pour that in. It's going through the filter that's on the top of the fuel tank as well. Only 1 litre, so shouldn't fill the tank up. There we go. Fuel cap back on. I'm not going to start it up inside, but I'm going to open up the valve. I'm watching the fuel filter fill up. There you go. So now there's the valve back off. I'm going to take it out into the garden and see if it'll start.